Folks, you know I talk about this on my show all the time. You know I talk about this. But I'm glad that finally the world is waking up to what I've been doing on my show for the last year and a half, 2 years, whatever. And so let's read. Global spread of autoimmune disease blamed on Western diet. New DNA research by London-based scientists hopes to find cure for rapidly spreading conditions. Folks, eat your goddamn fucking vegetables. I don't know why. I have to go on my goddamn show. I'm not a teacher. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a fucking nutritionist. I'm not your therapist. And I have to go on my goddamn fucking show every morning and I have to remind you fucking little goddamn idiots to eat your fucking vegetables. You want to know what the Western diet is? Fast food and ice cream, motherfucker. No veggies in sight. So I want to read this article, and I want you to know you are killing yourself. You are I don't want to get too much into it, but my mom raised me on fast food and ice cream, and I've got like permanent fucking brain damage and drug addiction to like fucking fast food and sugar. And I still think about it all right. So again, don't feed this shit to kids. And if you do it in moderation. But anyway, motherfucker, watch this, because I'm going to read this. Okay, so more and more people around the world are suffering because their immune systems can no longer tell the difference between healthy cells and invading microorganisms. Disease defenses that once protected them are instead attacking their tissues and organs. Did you know that 88, not 8, not 18, not 0.8, 88% of Americans have metabolic syndrome? That means they have a very slow metabolism. That means they are storing fat around their liver and their liver is not functioning well, which means every time that they eat sugar, every time they drink alcohol or take a medication or whatever, anything that's processed through the liver, it does it at a slower rate, which means that there's more pileup, which means that fat builds up, which means your metabolic rate slows, and that's what leads to diabetes, motherfucker. 88% of Americans have pre-diabetes, motherfucker. Do I need to, why do I have to go? I should just say that, and that should shatter the fucking world. Everyone should go oh my god, we're all fucking fucked. But you're not fucked. You want to know why? Because if you just eat fucking vegetables, you can fix metabolic syndrome in a couple weeks or a couple months, depending, on your body and all that, how old you are. Again, I lost 100 pounds several times, but this time it's stuck, right? I have books. I have books out the wazoo. I've got, books coming about this shit. I studied it. I looked into it. Well, that's because I don't have a job. I don't have kids. But if I had kids, I would want to know how to feed my kids. My mom didn't know how to feed me, and look at me. I'm a mess. So I'm just saying. Anyway, let's get back to the article. Major international research efforts are being made to fight this trend, including an initiative at London's Francis Crick Institute, where two world experts, James Lee and Carola Venusa, have set up separate research groups that will pinpoint the precise causes of autoimmune disease as these conditions are known. Did you know? Do you know why corn subsidies are a thing? You know where all this fucking bullshit comes from? Corn syrup comes from the fucking corn subsidies. Because Richard Nixon wanted to keep the blacks in line. Yeah, that's right. That's what they were talking about. You can look up White House memos. So their idea, right, to prevent the blacks from rioting because of food insecurity, their language, not mine, was to subsidize the corn industry, give them massive government handouts, and basically just mass produce corn syrup, and a bunch of unhealthy garbage so that people wouldn't starve, because people are so fucking stupid that, I'm talking about people in general, just everyone in this country, 88% of these motherfuckers are so stupid that they think that fucking McDonald's is food. That's what they think. That's what they think, right? Now, again, this goes back with the Controlled Substances Act. I know a lot of my fucking audience, right, like drugs, so I like drugs too. So Richard Nixon's administration did a lot of shit to control populations, such as people of color, right, people that were anti-war, right? This is a big anti-war movement, like hippies and so forth. Again, their language that they used in White House memos, they referred to their strategies as targeting, quote, the blacks and the hippies. That was their targeting, right? So that's why they made marijuana illegal. That's why they made magic mushrooms illegal and other cool drugs. That's why they mass-produced corn and fucking started integrating corn into everyone's diets. Mass-produced fucking corn syrup, which is high fructose corn syrup. That shit fucks you up, right? And now again, so 10 years later is when you start to see an increase of, as well, frozen TV dinners, fast food restaurants, right? We're in the 60s now. Like, fast food starts in the 50s. Then with the corn industries, like, they get a lot more, the corn subsidies, they get a lot more fucking prevalent. They get all over the place. They get, by the 70s, right? Fast food, TV dinners, fucking all that shit is everywhere in America, right? And then, all of a sudden, you see the 70s to 80s, all of a sudden, right? Oh, whoa, healthcare costs are starting to skyrocket. Whoa, the 90s come around, and then all of a sudden you've got a generation that doesn't even know how to cook for themselves, and then the healthcare costs are going up, 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 up. Folks, you are killing yourself if you eat this shit on any fucking regular basis. You are killing yourself. You are killing your family. You are killing your society. You are providing the government with the tools it needs to keep you in fucking chains. You are not a free thinker. You are not a free citizen. You are, again, a slave to capitalism, because that's the system that we're living in. You have no agency. If you are eating fast food every day, you have no agency. If you are eating shit with high fructose corn syrup every day, you have no agency. You are walking around in perfect lockstep with the capitalist game board. You are doing exactly what they want you to do. 88% of Americans have metabolic syndrome. This isn't like a fucking small little, only a couple dozen people here. No. 88%. This is not, like, imagine any other metric. 88%. Can you get 88% of Americans to agree on anything? 88% of Americans wouldn't agree on shit like free healthcare. 88% of Americans wouldn't agree on stuff like legalizing cannabis. 88% of Americans wouldn't agree on, like, fucking feeding the poor and the homeless. But yet 88% of Americans agree, I'm going to kill myself with fast food. Right? So again, I'm going to go back into this because I know I'm ranting and raving here, but I love when I see articles and studies that just further cement that this is the world that we live in. I know people call me crazy, but whatever. Numbers of autoimmune cases began to increase about 40 years ago. I wonder, okay, right. Lee told The Observer. However, we are now seeing some emerging countries that had never had such diseases before. Wow, I wonder why. It's because we're exporting this shit. Great fucking job, America. Military bases in every country and a McDonald's in every fucking country. God fucking damn it. For example, the biggest recent increase in inflammatory bowel disease cases has been in the Middle East and East Asia. Before that, they had hardly ever seen the disease. Autoimmune diseases range from type 1 diabetes to rheumatoid arthritis, inflammatory bowel disease, and multiple sclerosis. In each case, the immune system gets its wires crossed and turns on healthy tissue instead of infectious agents. In the UK alone, at least... Now, I wonder why the COVID-19 pandemic is killing so many people that have... So, I'm going to go into this, the comorbidities nonsense that the CDC director is talking about, right? Now, again, why do you think people are so at risk because of this pandemic? Because their bodies are broken. Most Americans are literally, like, living in a state of, like I don't even know how the fuck they can walk, right? Their bodies are broken, right? It's like, you have a scaffolding and you, like, unscrew all the bolts, right? And then it's like, you make one small move and then it all falls apart. It's a house of cards. And the COVID-19 pandemic is disproportionately affecting people that are disabled, that have autoimmune diseases and issues, which, again, is on the rise because people don't know how to eat, right? And so, again, this is a big societal problem. 88% of Americans have a metabolic syndrome, which is basically... like, that's the first stage of all these other kinds of illnesses and diseases. So, in the UK alone, at least 4 million people have developed such conditions, with some individuals suffering from more than one. Internationally, it is now estimated that cases of autoimmune diseases are rising by between 3 and 9% a year. A year! Most scientists believe environmental factors play a key role in this rise. Okay. Now, again, if we're talking about, like, what the food available to people is, okay. Human genetics hasn't altered over the past few decades, said Lee, who was previously based at the Cambridge University, so something must be changing in the outside world in a way that is increasing our predisposition to autoimmune disease. The idea was backed by Venusia, who previously reported at the Australian National University. She pointed to changes in diet that were occurring as more and more countries adopted Western-style diets and people bought more fast food. Here we go, folks. Here we go. Fast food diets lack certain important ingredients such as fiber. Fiber. Did you know 95% of Americans do not reach the daily recommended minimum intake of fiber? Now, I said 88% of Americans have metabolic syndrome. So that means there's a delta here of about, what, 7? what is that? Yeah, 7% of Americans don't eat enough fiber, but also don't have metabolic syndrome. Well, guess what? That 7's going to turn into 6. It's going to turn into 5. It's going to turn into 4, right? 95. You don't believe me? You don't believe me? Okay, well, I'll put up the study because I love this study. I have 95% fiber is like look at this. Look at this. This was in 2019. I wonder what it is now. Nearly all Americans fail to eat enough of this actual superfood. Fiber. Only 5% of people in the U.S. meet the Institute of Medicine's recommended daily target of 25. Now, that's the minimum. That's the minimum. I honestly don't agree that 25 to 38 grams is necessary. I personally try to aim for 40 to 50 a day, and I'm feeling pretty good, okay? That's the minimum. So I wonder how many people in the 5% are just reaching the minimum, right? And probably still not at the ideal levels. So again, folks, 5% that's what it's the minimum. I don't know, right? This is crazy. Again, 95% of you motherfuckers. I have 50 viewers. Statistically, that means there's only 2.5 fucking viewers that know how to fucking feed themselves. 2.5 viewers. I don't know how half a person can feed themselves, right? But like, seriously, this is fucking crazy. This is nutso. This is out of control. 95% of Americans don't know how to fucking feed themselves. Like, and again, this is not, I'm not trying to claim 95% of Americans are stupid, which I am, by the way, but that's not the point. My point is society designs a system of governance, right? And the way we communicate with each other, the way we act with each other, and the way we talk to each other and operate, right? It's a game board, right? Imagine Monopoly or whatever, right? It's a game board. You are spawned into this society, and you are just walking along the lines of the game board. You're going up a couple spaces. Whoops, you broke your leg. Now you're in the hospital. Whoops, but you are on the tram lines of this game board until you fucking realize, oh shit, everything. It's not just, the government sucks and war. Like, yes, war sucks. The government sucks. But every aspect of society. The air you breathe, the water you drink, the areas you live in, the spaces you live in, right? Your commute, the cars you drive. Why are you driving a car? Why do we have cars in this society? Why are cars required for most things in society? The food you eat, every aspect of your life in this country is very carefully and meticulously designed to screw you over, right? It's not just the healthcare industry. It's not just student debt. It's not just climate change. It is everything. Every aspect of society. There's lead paint. There's lead in the gasoline. There was for lead in the water, right? Every aspect of society. It's not just the abstract things that you don't think about on a daily basis. Every single time you open up a food wrapper, you are marching along the capitalist game board like a good little fucking drone. 95%. Now again, am I trying to say that, if you're in a situation where you have, why do you think you're in a situation where you have to eat fast food? The common thing I hear is, I work 2 jobs. Well, guess what? If fast food didn't take place in the society to such a degree where everyone has access to it and it's affordable enough, right? There wouldn't be such a thing as second jobs, right? If people needed to fucking eat and there was no such thing as processed food, there wouldn't be able to have second jobs. You wouldn't be able to work 16 hours a day if fast food didn't exist, if processed food didn't exist. You ever wonder why these things are, why do people think they're addicted to these things? Because society was designed to addict you to these things. Now again, am I trying to say that everyone's stupid and they can't change? I hope to God that people watch my content and they go, fuck me, how could I have not seen that coming? Oh my God, I need to get my shit together, because I got my shit together. And sometimes you're allowed to eat fast food. Sometimes you're allowed to splurge a little bit, but a lot of people treat this as their daily diet. They treat this 5 to 6 times a week. If you want to do it once a week, couple times a month, that's fine, whatever, right? That's not the huge deal. But we're talking about people that are addicted to the shit. We're talking about people that only eat processed food, frozen food, fast food. These motherfuckers are in the game board. They're not in the real world. They're swimming in a fantasy land. And that's the same thing. Am I going to pretend everyone who eats fast food is a fascist? No. But think about the January 6th stuff. They all swim in fantasy, right? They think that Donald Trump is the rightful president. He's not. He lost the election. They think that like Democrats are like Satan worshippers, right? They're not. They're just fucking losers that are like incontinent like in government, right? If you eat fast food every single day, you are living in a fantasy land, and that's what the COVID-19 pandemic has provided. It's provided a wake-up call for this fantasy land. But guess what? The government's going to try to pretend not to talk about the real problems. The government's going to say, "Oh well, it's the unvaccinated, and that's the problem." Yes, the unvaccinated are fucking stupid and they're dumb. Unless, again, you have a disability that prevents you from being able to get the vaccine. I'm talking about healthy, able-bodied, unvaccinated morons. Those are fucking stupid motherfuckers, right? But again, I need y'all to understand every aspect of society. The fact that you're watching me on YouTube, how did you find me on YouTube? The algorithm presented you with my channel. How did you find me on YouTube? The fact that you're even on YouTube to begin with, this is all part of the game board, okay? I want you to escape this fucking shit. Eat properly. I know, oh, well, I can't afford it. Well, guess what, motherfucker? Eat some beans. Oh, but it tastes bad. All right, get some fucking spices. Get some hot sauce. Oh, blah, blah, blah. There's always excuses. I made the same excuses too. Guess what? There are ways to improve your eating no matter what your scenario is, no matter what your situation is. And guess what? Also, if you change your diet, your taste buds will adapt. When people say, oh, I don't like that food. Oh, I don't like the taste of that food. Oh, vegetables taste bad. If you eat vegetables every single day, guess what? They start to taste good because your taste buds change. That's a thing. I've experienced it. Bada boom. All right, let's keep reading. Where was I? Lacking certain important ingredients such as fiber. I'm really high, so I'm just going off on tangents here. Such as fiber, and evidence suggests the alteration affects a person's microbiome, the collection of microorganisms that we have in our gut that play a role in controlling various bodily functions. Now again, the fiber that goes, you want to know why fiber makes you fart? You want to know why beans and vegetables make you fart so much? It's because farts are actually your microbiome consuming the fibrous contents in your intestines, right? So what they're doing is they're consuming the fiber. If they don't consume the fiber, guess what? They're going to consume other things that are also stuff that should be, absorbed by your body. That's why fiber is so important. It feeds the microbiome. And again, not all bacteria is bad. A lot of the bacteria inside your body is good. But when you don't eat fiber, what happens is the bad bacteria proliferate, the good bacteria die off, and the bad bacteria will start feeding off of your actual body and your nutrients that you need to survive. So again, not only when you don't eat fiber in your diet are you you're not you don't have a good gut health, right? Like that's going to happen. But as well, the nutrients that your body, like let's say you think you're eating 20 grams of protein with your steak or whatever the fuck stupid shit you eat because you're a meat-eating scumbag, eat a plant-based diet, by the way. So again, right? Oh, you might think you're getting 20 grams of protein, but actually you're not, because other things in your body are going to be seeping off of those nutrients. Now again, are they going to do 100% of it? No, but they're going to do enough to the point where you're going to not get the full nutritional value of the meals that you're eating. Again, I don't know why this is breaking. This should be on the front page. 95% of Americans are dumb motherfuckers. Now again, I'm not calling you on a personal level. We all are stuck in this fucking system. We got to fucking break out of it. If me calling you a dumb motherfucker, oh, I'm so offended, I'm going to go eat ice cream. I understand. I get it. I was right there with you, motherfucker. I understand. I was in the same position. But at some point, we have to understand the most anti-capitalist thing we can do is to stop eating fast food. 95% of Americans don't know how to eat vegetables. Oh, I know how to eat vegetables. I just choose not to. Are you sure about that? Okay. All right. Fine, buddy. These changes in our microbiomes are triggering autoimmune diseases, of which more than 100 types have now been discovered. Both scientists stress that individual susceptibilities were involved in contracting such illnesses. Ailments that also include celiac disease as well as lupus, which triggered inflammation and swelling and can cause damage to various organs, including the heart. I want to tell everyone, I talked about this a lot. My childhood, I had chronic illness, chronic disease. I was in and out of school for I love to summarize my experience in high school. I failed classes with more than 100 points in the grade, right? How is that possible? How can you do all the extra credit and win every test, get 100 points on every test, every homework assignment, and still fail? Well, I failed because of attendance. My situation is very interesting. I had chronic illness as a kid, so I didn't go to school half the time, right? So, but I also read books a lot, so I just was able to do all the work. It wasn't like I was behind in school. It wasn't like I was failing to learn. I did all the work. I just, read books on my own time, and I knew all the answers for everything because I'm smart. I'm not trying to, I'm smart, right? But again, I was in and out of the hospital a lot as a kid. I had several times where I wouldn't be able to go to school. because I have chronic health issues. Well, I had chronic health issues, and almost all of it has gone away when I changed my diet. But again, and so my school failed me because of attendance. Now, they literally did not even believe that my doctor's notes were legitimate, right? They literally did not believe, like, like, and what was I gonna do? Like, sue them? I'm a fucking stupid kid. I'm a poor kid. I can't sue the school. They did not believe that the doctor's notes were real, and they decided to fail me. And it was like, basically, what am I gonna do? Nothing, right? So I dropped out of high school. That's why I dropped out of high school, folks. For those of you that don't know. And again, I had chronic illness most of my life. It made it so that I could barely move, without being in pain, right? I had issues with all parts of my body, right? And then I decided, wait a second. I'm going to try to lose weight. I lost weight, and it fixed almost all of my issues, right? But not all of them. And when I first tried to lose weight, I became a little anorexic, and I wouldn't eat properly. And then I had a lot of issues in the overcorrection department, right? And so, but then I started studying on food and nutrition. I became a vegetarian. I cut fructose for the most part. I mean, sometimes, I'll have like a can of soda every once in a while, but again, in moderation, right? I cut fast food, I cut, meat, I cut all this stuff. And I shit you not, all right? I did this in February through April of 2020 is when I did this complete dietary shift. Almost, if not all, of my issues that I had are gone. They're gone, right? Like, I'm not lethargic anymore, right? I can walk up and down the stairs without getting extremely tired. I used to have like bad breathing problems. I was diagnosed with asthma at one point. I haven't had asthmatic symptoms literally in years, right? I haven't had like issues using the bathroom in years. I haven't and all I did was change my diet, and it fixed almost all of my health problems. Now, am I going to say that I don't know. I was like, 23? I don't even know when the pandemic started. I was like 20 something. I'm 25 now. Okay. So am I going to say that I don't know where they're at in their lives? If you're older, it might be more difficult. I don't know. People's bodies are different. I was able to fix almost literally an entire childhood. Doctors studying me, they couldn't figure out what the fuck was wrong with me, right? They would only always treat the symptoms. They would never try to cure the root causes of my illnesses. My mom would just keep buying me pizzas, feeding me fast food because she was a single mother. She didn't know what the fuck was going on. She was blind. She wasn't actually like blind, but I mean, like, she didn't know anything. She couldn't see what was actually going on, right? So again, all throughout my childhood, I had a very traumatic childhood. And guess what? I just fixed my diet, and I'm almost good to go. I had like any symptom that I had as a kid, almost all of it's gone. I can run without having any asthmatic symptoms. I can do all this shit, right? And again, it's because I cut meat. I started eating a lot of vegetables. I tried to aim for 50 grams of fiber per day. That was my goal that I set. 50 grams of fiber per fucking day. And then I just kept at it. I kept at it months and months. The goal wasn't necessarily to lose weight. The goal was to eat healthy, and the weight loss came out of it, right? And so I cannot stress this enough because it's 95%. So that means that most people watching my stream are in that 95%. Now it's possible that like everyone in the 95% gets scared when I do these segments and they run away, and then my stream is just the 5%, right? If anyone watches this and has a horrible, think of what you had for breakfast today. Think of what you had for dinner yesterday. Think about every meal write down your meals. This is another thing that I used to do, is I would write down the meals that I had in a little notebook. I would say I ate this and this, and then I would look it over at the end of the week. I'd say, okay. Now again, if I ate bad food every once in a while, I would eat bad, and I would put it on there, and I'd be like, okay, well, how many meals are you eating a day? Also, is another thing. Breakfast is a scam invented by cereal companies and sugar companies, right? Breakfast didn't really even exist a long time ago. Breakfast is a fucking scam, okay? So fuck breakfast. In my opinion, 2 meals a day is ideal. But you can experiment. You can eat like 12 meals a day, and they're all small or whatever. You can experiment. But I would recommend just writing down all the food you eat. It's that simple. You don't need to write down the calories. You don't need to write down the protein, fiber, fat, fuck that shit. That's stupid. That's garbage. Now, again, if you want to do that, if you're doing like a specialized diet, go for it, right? But the typical way that I would say is the most, just write down, I had fucking eggs for breakfast, write down, I made a salad. That's all you need. All you need to do is any words that can trigger a response in your neurological pathways to make you remember what the food was, because also that helps with memory. You don't want to write down everything, because, if you write down a little bit, you'll remember the meal, and then, your brain will do the rest, and that helps your memory. It's anti-aging properties. But anyway, so again, I'm really high right now. I apologize. I turned this into like... Every time, whenever the fiber comes up, it always turns into this. But yeah, I I don't even, like, just write them all down. Like, I mean, that's, like, once you realize, like, because people just eat food, right? They just come home from work, shove something in the microwave, eat food. They don't even think about it, right? If you just think about it, make a conscious effort to acknowledge what the foods you're eating are, that's the first fucking step. That's the first fucking step. What did you have for breakfast? Just write it down. It just takes like 3 seconds. It takes like 3 seconds. Go, boom, you're done. It's like, while you're, like, even if you do no dietary changes at all, right? Start this procedure while the fucking shit's spinning in the microwave. Open up your phone and write down what you're eating and then turn it back. Like, that's all, you know? Sure, I'm not on uppers. I'm drinking coffee. Like, I'm drinking, you know, I always get like this and I drink. This is the coffee-weed combo for me, right? So I woke up high and now I'm drinking a lot of coffee. So I'm like, whoa, right? But, like, you know, I'm high, so I won't shut the fuck up. And I'm coffee, so I'm speaking really fast. And also, I won't shut the fuck up because both of those make me not shut the fuck up. Anyway, let's keep going. If you don't have certain genetic susceptibility, you won't necessarily get an autoimmune disease no matter how many Big Macs you eat. Now, again, all bodies are different, right? Like, I do know people that eat fast food every day and they don't have that many health problems. But guess what? Guess what? I've got news for you. That's rare. That's rare. It's almost as rare as the people who know how to eat vegetables in this country, okay? There's not a lot we can do to halt the global spread of fast food franchises, so instead we are trying to understand the fundamental genetic... Yeah, because the country, the world is garbage. Again, it's a game board, right? Think about it like the Matrix or whatever. Whatever analogy makes you fucking, like, understand what the fuck's going on. You are on a game board. You are on the exact lines of society, and again, the most anti-capitalist thing you can do is to stop buying and eating junk food. That's it. Think about how much fucking money you waste on stupid ass food. I know a lot of people that are poor, right? And why are they poor? Because they spend hundreds of dollars on junk food every month that they don't need. Now, again, I'm not trying to poverty shame. I'm poor. I've been poor my whole fucking life. So I'm not trying to poverty shame. But I'm just also telling you my experience. Now again, another luxury I have that a lot of people don't is time. And that's why I'm going to crunch down my several months of reading books into a YouTube show that people can turn on, right? If I can turn my several months long journey of reading books and learning how to cook and all that stuff into a 20-minute fucking YouTube video, boom, that's great. Because I know a lot of people don't have the luxury of time, and that's what my job is. My job is to translate a lot of the work I do into a short time crunch. Now again, I don't know if I do a great job at that, but, you know, maybe you can tell me. But again, you know, like, the most anti-capitalist thing you can do is to just, like, realize that everything you do is under the guise and shadow of capitalism. If you are eating meat, you are helping the meat industry. If you are eating sugar, you're helping the sugar industry. You're helping the health insurance companies, because health insurance companies profit off of when you eat sugar. When you eat sugar, you have a higher likelihood of being hospitalized. When you eat this kind of shit, you have a higher likelihood of being hospitalized. And therefore, the health insurance industry has a very, very, very symbiotic relationship with the food industry. They work in tandem. They're buddies. They're, like, you know, they go behind the scenes and do the secret handshake. That's what they're doing. And the sooner you realize that you're on the game board, it's not just the abstract things like, oh, student loans. It's not just, oh, there's climate change. It's not just, oh, I'm anti-war. Those are all great things. We need to criticize the government, but we also need to criticize each other. We need to help each other. Because, again, we are on our own. The government's not going to save us. You think the government's going to fucking save us? Look at this fucking country. Look at what's going on with the COVID-19 pandemic. You think the government's gonna fucking save us? The government produced a vaccine and said, take it or don't, whatever, and now they're hands off. They don't give a shit. Thousands of people are dying a day. People won't take the vaccine because they're fucking stupid. Get vaccinated. Eat your fucking vegetables, right? But again, we are on our own. The government's not going to save us. A fucking senator's not going to save us. A president's not going to save us. A member of Congress isn't going to save us. Does that mean you shouldn't vote? No, you should vote. You should participate, of course, in that kind of system. But you also have to go help your fellow person. Help your neighbors, right? Provide food for people. Teach people how to fucking eat. Because again, 95% of Americans are so goddamn fucking trapped within the fucking game that they don't know how to fucking feed themselves. themselves. We are, again, my mom barely fucking taught me how to cook. She didn't. I'm just straight up. She did not teach me how to cook at all. Now, do I know? I don't know if her mom taught her how to cook. I'm not sure. But I am a part of a generation, I'm 25 years old, whose parents did not teach us how to cook. I was raised on fast food and ice cream. I had to learn all of this by myself. I had the luxury of time. And so I want to help other people figure that shit out, because 95% is not okay. 95% of Americans are literally blinded. They're trapped within the game and they can't even see it. So, eat your fucking vegetables, bitch. You can read the rest of this article if you want, but I think, yeah, I think there you go. Share this segment. If I'm gonna beg for people to share a segment, that's the one. This is the one. Share.